The Women's Work Project, as such, began in Kansas in November 1933 under the CWA. Women who are heads of needy families must have proper opportunity for employment. Therefore, provisions were made for the care of the 12,000 unemployed women through special projects suited to their skills. The sewing rooms were the most popular project under the County Work Relief Program, inasmuch as the articles produced were needed by the county relief organizations for distribution to needy persons, and because sewing rooms provided an opportunity for inexperienced women to receive special training. Garments were made from used clothing donated by local organizations, from new material purchased by the counties, and through the aid of federal funds. County officials were encouraged in purchasing to secure materials of such quality as to be worth making up into garments from the standpoint of durability. Combined with the other women's works projects, a monthly average of 5,000 women were enabled to earn subsistence in socially useful work. Approximately 100 colored women gathered at Paxico, Wabaunsee County on July 10, 1935 to exhibit the achievements of the Homemakers Club. These exhibits were the results of 5 months training in canning, rug making, remodeling wearing apparel, plain and fancy sewing, embroidery, basketry, and other handicrafts. The outstanding work in rug making and basketry done by a blind woman was of unusual interest to the gathering. The Weaving Institute, sponsored by the Kansas Emergency Relief Committee, was held in the East High School building, Wichita, from August 5th to 17th, 1935, for the purpose of giving a course of instruction in weaving to supervisors. 22 supervisors from the 11 state weaving centers, 65 county representatives, 8 county and 6 state leisure time supervisors, and 6 visitors, making a total of 107 persons, were in attendance from 72 counties. The first week was devoted to the instruction of the 22 state weaving center supervisors only, who, during the second week, aided in the instruction of the county representatives, leisure time supervisors, and visitors. The course consisted of detailed explanation of the loom, its parts and methods of operation, and the various processes involved in weaving. The text used was a weaving manual which had been prepared by 2 state weaving supervisors. During the training period, each person was required to demonstrate her proficiency by weaving a strip of blanket material. In conjunction with the Weaving Institute, night classes were held for those women who wished instruction in the art of knitting. At the conclusion of the Institute, the looms which had been built by work relief clients in a carpenter shop project set up in Independence were disassembled and distributed throughout the state to 11 state loom centers, where it was intended they would become instrumental in making blankets and other articles for distribution among those on relief rolls, and at the same time to teach the operator a craft whereby it is hoped she may aid in caring for her family. In March 1935, a leather garment project was opened for the production of leather coats and articles in Kansas City. This project was only one part of a very comprehensive program resulting from the purchase of cattle and sheep during the severe drought of 1934. In round numbers, 520,000 cattle and calves, 11,000 sheep, and 300 goats were purchased in Kansas by the federal government. 9 canning kitchens were operated to process the meat resulting from the slaughter of stock in Kansas. These plants processed over 120,000 cattle, or a total of 28.5 million pounds of meat. This meat went into almost 13 million hermetically sealed cans and included products such as beef and veal stew, ground beef, beef soup, and beef tongue, while mutton stew was canned from the meat of sheep. The average weekly personnel employed in these canning plants was 8,523. 24,000 good hides yielded by these cattle were retained by the state. 645,000 sheep pelts were also allotted to Kansas. These hides and pelts were tanned commercially in the East into harness, garment, bookbinding, glove, shoe, and upholstery leather. A majority of employees on these projects for the production of goods were relief clients, and the finished articles were distributed to relief families on the basis of need. In this manner, the government, through its AAA and work relief programs, took care of surplus material and made usable articles for the consumption of relief clients who otherwise would not have had sufficient clothing, food, and bedding to meet their needs. On this leather coat project, approximately 45 women and an average of 10 men working on 2- and 3-day shifts made 1,415 coats during the period ending September the 5th, 1935. Workers' education institutes conducted in Kansas afforded 183 persons, of which 10 were sent from Nebraska, with an opportunity to obtain training suitable to fit them for the teaching of workers' education under the Emergency Educational Program. This scene shows the library established for the second institute. All space was contributed by the Kansas State College, and an extensive library was established suitable for this type of training, following an intensive research by the bibliographer of the Emergency Education Department. Appraisals of Mr. Burdett Lewis, field representative of the American Welfare Association, and Mr. William Baxter of the American Red Cross Southwestern Branch have been very complimentary.